Alright, we're finishing up section 8.7 today. Yesterday we did 8.7a where we multiplied binomials, so two terms in each set of parentheses. And today we're going to do polynomials, which is going to be more than two terms in each set of parentheses. The main goal yesterday was to make sure that every term in the first set of parentheses got multiplied by every term in the second set. So if we had x plus 2 times 3x minus 5, we basically said we had to distribute twice. We had to start by distributing the x, and then we had to distribute the 2, so that every term in the first set of parentheses got multiplied by every term in the second set of parentheses. That's still the goal today. You're just going to have an extra term, so there might be like a minus y here, and then they'd have to distribute to the y both times. So it just adds a couple of extra multiplication steps, but the general goal is the same. So here we have 4x plus 9 times 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. So there are two terms in my first set of parentheses and three terms in my second set of parentheses. So I still am going to distribute twice. I just have to make sure that I distribute to everything. So the first thing I'm going to distribute is the 4x to everything in this set of parentheses. So 4 times 2 is 8. And then this is 1x plus 2 more gives me x to the third. Then I go here. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. And I have 2 x's, so x squared. Then I have to keep going because I have another term I haven't hit yet. So 4 times 3 is 12. And I just have the single x from the first time. Now yesterday when we were doing FOIL, we just continued to write all of our terms out in a line afterwards, which is fine because you could still go through and combine like terms, but with these longer problems sometimes it gets a little bit too complicated. So it's going to be easier if we stack up our terms underneath. So I'm going to start distributing the 9. So 9 times 2 is 18, so it's a positive 18 x squared. Notice when I moved down, I also moved over a spot to line up the x squareds. And I keep going. 9 times negative 5 is negative 45, and there's a single x. 9 times 3 is a positive 27, and there were no x's. So if you move down and over one spot, you're lining yourself up perfectly to have all of your like terms all in a line. So then you can go through and just add them together. So there were no other x to the third, so 8x to the third is by itself. Then you have a negative 20 plus 18, which is a negative 2, x squared. Then you have a positive 12 and a negative 45, which is going to give you a negative 33 x. And then the 27 was the only constant, so that one's all alone. If you notice when you're done, all of the like terms have been combined, and you are in descending order, x to the third, x to the second, x to the first, and then my constant. So it's very similar to yesterday where you just distribute. It's just an extra step to distribute to the extra terms. Here, we're going to start with distributing the 3k. 3 times 2 is 6. I have 1k here plus the 2 there gives me k to the third. Then I keep going. 3 times 4 is 12. I have 1k in each spot giving me k squared. Finally, I have to keep going. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, and I have 1k. Here I have to distribute a negative 5. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Remember, I'm going to move down and over one spot, so negative 10k squared. Negative 5 times 4 is a negative 20 with a single k. And negative 5 times negative 3 is a positive 15. Watch your signs. Then they're all lined up, so you just have to add them together. 6k to the third is the only one to the third. A positive 12 plus a negative 10 is a positive 2k squared. Negative 9 and negative 20 is negative 29k. And the 15 was the only constant. That's it. Again, it's already in descending order. Start by distributing the 2x. 2 times 3 is 6, and I have 3 x's total. Keep going. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, and I have 2 x's. 2x times 1 is a positive 2x. And now I'm out of terms to distribute to, so now I move on to the negative 5 and distribute that. Remember, I'm going to move down and over. Negative 5 times 3 is a negative 15, x squared. Negative 5 times negative 4 is a positive 20x. Negative 5 times 1 is a negative 5. If I lined it up that way, then I'm all ready to just combine like terms straight down. 6x to the third, negative 8 plus a negative 15 is going to be a negative 23x squared. 2 plus 20 is a positive 22x. And then minus 5. That's it. This one is a little bit longer because my first set of parentheses also has 3 terms. But the process is exactly the same. I'm going to start by distributing the y squared, whereas there's a 1 in front of that y. So 1 times 6 is 6. In total I have 4 y's, 2 here and 2 here. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. In total I have 3 y's, 2 and 1. Then I do y squared times 1, which is just y squared. I'm out of things to distribute the y squared to, so now I move and start distributing the negative 2y. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12y to the third. Again, I move down and over one spot. And keep going. Negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6y squared. And then negative 2 times 1 is negative 2y. Then the last thing I have to do is distribute the 5 because I'm still not done. So I have to do 5 times 6 and I get a positive 30y squared. Again, I moved down and over one spot and started writing. Keep going. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15y. And then 5 times 1 is 5. I have 3 tiers now, but they're still all lined up, and I can still just add straight down. So that gives me 6y to the fourth. Negative 3 plus negative 2, or negative 12, is negative 15y to the third. 1 plus 6 plus 30 gives me a positive 37y squared. Negative 2 and a negative 15 is a negative 17. And then the 5. It's already in descending order. We'll do one more of those and then we'll be done. N squared has to be distributed. N squared times n squared is n to the fourth. N squared times 5n is a positive 5n to the third. N squared times negative 4 is negative n squared. Then I have to distribute the negative 3n. Negative 3 times n squared is going to be a negative 3n to the third. Negative 3n times 5 is a negative 15n squared. Negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12n. I'm not done yet because I still have a 2 that has to be distributed. So 2 times n squared is a positive 2n squared. Again, I just moved down and over a spot. 2 times 5 is a positive 10n, and 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. I've distributed every term in my first set of parentheses to every term in my second set, so now I'm ready to just add my like terms straight down. N to the fourth, 5 minus 3 is a positive 2, n to the third. Negative 4, negative 15, and a positive 2 is going to be a negative 17, n squared. 12 and 10 gives me 22n, and then minus 8. So when you have so many terms in each set of parentheses, you just have to line them up and make sure that you're combining like terms at the end, but every term in the first set of parentheses has to be multiplied with every term in the second set. You only have 2 questions for your assignment, so just 32 and 36. It's on page 455 just like yesterday's was, but it needs to be turned in separately.